Hello. I don't know if you remember this, but a little while ago I bought and read a travel diary on my channel. I don't know, these two videos, maybe they ring a bell. Well, in that travel journal, there actually was a second trip, and I said I was going to read the second trip. I never did, so I'm going to be reading that today. I feel like this is the perfect video for me to be filming right now. I don't really know what happened. I entered into 2021 all like, new year, new me, this is going to be my year. I'm going to make all my dreams come true. And we're only a weekend, so I haven't given up on that. I've just fallen into like the weirdest slump. I guess like the best way I would describe it is like whatever the opposite of homesickness is. I really like miss my friends and traveling and like leaving the house and going to school and like doing everything. I don't know, I've just been really reminiscing on like life before the pandemic, and maybe I can vicariously get some normalcy through these people's travels because I'm not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this. I'm going to be doing this whole thing in one part. This is probably going to be a long one. Grab a snack, maybe do this in two parts, I don't know. In case you forgot, last time they went from San Bernardino all the way to Yellowstone. I don't really know where they're going this trip, but throughout the journey there was a lot of car issues, there were some issues with bears camping, there was a whole bunch of stuff, so I guess we'll get to see what they're doing. Yeah, let's just get started. Actually, I need to get water, hold on. Vacation 1948. Started on our vacation Sunday at 9:20 a.m., August 29th, 1948. It was a beautiful morning and everything went fine. We arrived in Santa Barbara at 12 noon, bought gas for the first time. We decided to go a little further before eating lunch. We tightened our belts and drove as far as Fullerton? No, that's not right. There we had some of their famous split pea soup. It was very good. So was the price. Aw, I want to travel around and eat fair priced split pea soup. We took our time traveling as we were not going very far the first day. We arrived at our destination, which was Morro Bay, at 3:45 p.m. The weather was ideal that afternoon. Noticed there was a beautiful golf course with that hungry golf look in his eyes. Maybe I should start golfing. That seems like a nice way to get out of the house. Took some pictures and drove around and looked at the scenery. Camp was nice but somewhat dusty. The bathrooms were clean and they had showers there. That was day one. Pretty simple, they just drove. August 30th, 1948. Was up first. He stuck his head out of the tent and said it was foggy. And so it was when I got up sometime later. I usually sleep until has the fire all good and going. Me, growing up we had a wood stove and I would do the same thing. I would literally sleep until like noon, so I didn't have to do the fire in the morning. I don't know where that came from, just, you know, reminiscing. We finally got our gear together and left Morro Bay at 10:30 with Big Sur in our minds. Oh, I want to go to Big Sur. At lunchtime we stopped at Lucia Lodge, a place overlooking the ocean. Quite beautiful. Soup and sandwiches here. Wait, hold on. I want to look that up. I want to see if Lucia Lodge is still a place.
Oh my god, it is!
I've always thought it would be really fun to do one of these videos, but actually like travel to the places where they write about in these. We arrived in Big Sur at 3 p.m. Nice and pleasant here. Lots of big trees. Forgot to take pictures in this park, not even our own camp. Oh yes, we did take one picture. Slept very well this night. Don't really know what any of that last part meant, but like, okay. August 31st, 1948. Got an earlier start this morning, but left here later at 10:40 a.m. Our first stop after leaving here was Point Hollow. It was cold and foggy. We took some pictures and went through the cypress grove. Saw a whole skeleton. Ooh. Heard the seals honk and holler. Oh my god, seals are so annoying. Anyways, they make a terrible noise.
See?
We kept pace. They got... What?
Next place that got the ounce over from us.
I have no idea what that means, or even if that's what it says, but like, I gotta keep it moving. Was Monterey. Oh, I've been to Monterey before, it's cute! At Centerville, we bought gas. In Santa Cruz, we bought a cake. And our lunch was an ice cream cone. Me. I literally had ice cream for breakfast this morning, like my life has gone downhill. On our way up to Big Basin, where we thought we would camp for at least 2 days. We arrived there at 4 p.m. and we had a heck of a time picking the right spot to pitch our tent. We found a cozy spot just right to spend a couple of days, we thought. Went to a campfire meeting, we went to bed and took some me time to get some sleep. And someone was racing up and down the road with their motorcycle. It seemed like we had just fallen asleep when a forest ranger stuck his head into the tent and warned that there was a fire about 2 miles away.
What?
It was at midnight when we were awakened, but we decided to wait until 2. Wait, you mean to tell me you guys were just chilling out in a tent for 2 hours when there was a fire like right next to your campsite?
Can't relate.
Okay, so September 1st, 1948. Oh, this is at 2 a.m. So I think this is when they were leaving. See, it was hard to get up and leave a nice warm bed and get up and pack by the lantern light. You know what else is harder? Like driving through a forest fire. Get out of there. We packed, which took almost 2 hours. These people like don't care. They literally don't care. If a forest ranger woke me up in the middle of the night and was like, hey, there's a fire about 2 miles away, I would probably be gone in like 30 seconds. They're literally making coffee. When the coffee finally peaked after about 1.5 hours on the wood stove, we left our camp at 3:58 a.m. September 1st. On the way out of this peak, we saw the fire. All the campers around us had left ahead of us. We were the pokey ones. We didn't have any ideas in our head of where to go, so we just kept going north. We arrived in San Francisco between 6 and 7 a.m. We decided to stop for everything here. We drove over the Golden Gate Bridge. We stopped to have a car service at Petaluma. Oh god, not more car troubles.
Please, no more car troubles.
Where do we go from here? None of us had any idea yet. Too early. And all of our brains were a little fogged from the loss of sleep. So we headed north at Williams, ? I don't really know what that is. We needed to get gas again. We arrived in Richardson Park in the Redwoods at 3:30 p.m. Nice park. We gave his presents after dinner. We went to a campfire meeting. Did the bed feel good this night? Yes, before going to the Redwoods, we took a drove through Clear Lake. We thought we might stay here for a while, but it was too hot. After breakfast, and I did some washing. After the family wash was done, we went for a ride to see what we could see. We saw the Franklin K. Lane Grove. Picked Himalayan berries? These are kind of hard to read. And bought some corn from a farmer's wife who said she had lived on that farm for 50 years. Drove over to Gerberville and register for the draft. Went to campfire meeting again tonight. Before going to sleep, we decided to leave in the morning. September 3rd, 1948. We had a fairly early start, left at 11 a.m. We went about 100 miles or less, as I've made it in 2 hours. Arrived in Burlington Park at 1 p.m. Nice park with wash tubs, an ironing board, and showers. I love how like the person, whoever is writing this, always makes it a point to tell us how the restrooms are. Like, thank you. Also, I'm sure they probably didn't anticipate the journal being read on the internet, but like,
Stranger things have happened.
for our campfire meeting, we had to go 2 miles down the highway to Williams Grove. We went to Scotia to get some gas and groceries. It's always so weird because I think when I think of the past, like in the 1940s, for some reason, I like didn't think they had electricity or like running water or like cars. You know what I mean? So when they say they're getting like gas and groceries, it like trips me out. I don't know why. Apparently, for whatever reason, I think like the 1940s through like the 1960s were like still the Stone Ages. I don't know. A short drive from camp to Dragonville. I have no idea what this is. We then got back to the main highway only to launch off the road to McCann? M-C-C-A-N-N. I'm sure that's McCann. On our way back from there, we picked berries and stopped at I don't know. After leaving me at camp, I went off for a swim. I told them I would have dinner ready at a certain time. I was cooking the berries we had picked that day when comes up, puffing into camp on foot. He really was in a tizzy?
Whatever that means.
He said he drove down the gravel and got stuck. Couldn't find a forest ranger at the camp, so they would have to go somewhere for help. Wait, they're having car troubles again? Just as he was stepping into the view, and 2 husky men had the car off the gravel. In the evening, we sat in our tent, looking at maps, trying to figure out where to go next. September 5th, 1948. We left Burlington at 11 a.m., bought gas in Arcata.
Oh my god, I've been to Arcata.
That's so crazy, like no one ever talks about Arcata. Stopped at Patrick's Point, oh my god, I've been there too. And hunted for agates down at the beach. It was almost a mile down, at least I thought when I had to climb back up. We found a lot of beautiful rocks, also agates. We spent almost 2 hours here. We arrived at Prairie Creek at 4 p.m. We found a nice place to camp, grass for our camp instead of dust. The sun came up just in time for our breakfast and warmed us up a bit. The mornings were always too cold for everyone. Soon in the campfire meeting, I found out that they had a hike the next morning. We decided we would take that hike. September 6, 1948. To our surprise, we woke up early enough to make that hike. It was a very interestingly guided hike. It was about 4 to 5 miles long. Back at the camp in time for lunch. We had pea soup, washed my hair, took a ride to the Klamath, got some ice and groceries. After dinner, we hiked down the highway to take a good look at the something and looked the campgrounds over. Saw a hollow tree where a native family had lived many years ago. September 7th, 1948. Woke up at 7 a.m. and started at 9:55. At Crescent City, we bought gas. More gas at Shady Cove. We took pictures of the state line checking stations. So on to Oregon. Went up to Crater Lake. It was clear and beautiful, and we had a good look at the lake this time. We walked around the grounds and took pictures. We thought it would be too cold to camp there that night. It was 5 o'clock then, and we had a long ride ahead of us. Before we stopped for the night, we decided to screw it, and we arrived in Klamath Falls around 6:30. We got gas and then dinner, and we had pork chops. By the time it was 7 o'clock and their clock said 6 o'clock, oh, we didn't change our watches as we were only going to be in Oregon for a few hours. Oh, so Oregon must have had a different time zone back then. I don't know, I'll have to look that up. We drove and drove and drove, and not a sign of any town where we were plenty tired. We even tried to find a drive-out place that night along the road so we can sleep, but we couldn't find that. We eventually came to a town at the time of 10:20 p.m. The city Alturas. A cabin, a bath, and to bed. Oh boy, did that ever feel good. I've never been to Alturas, but I grew up kind of near it. Cute. Oh, we have still so much time to go. Hold on, my camera's gonna die. Hello, hello, hello. Is anybody still watching? Here's the thing. I totally forgot that I did not finish filming this video. I've been walking around the last like 4 days being like, hell yeah, I already have my video done for the week. And then last night at like 3 a.m. I was like,
Oh my god, where's the other clip? I lost the other clip.
and then I realized, no, I didn't even finish filming this video because my camera battery died. Here I am, about an hour before this video is supposed to be posted, and I'm just gonna finish it right here. We have our handy dandy journal on the page where we left off. It's upside down. Promising. So September 8th, 1948. We had breakfast at Modoc Cafe in Alturas. We had hotcakes, 2 eggs, and some fruit and coffee. Coffee for me too. We left Alturas at 8 a.m. We had a lovely drive to Bernie Falls. Aww. I've been there too. Arrived there at 11 a.m., fooled around, took pictures, and so on down to Mount Lassen. Arrived there sometime around noon. Looked around for a suitable camping place, but couldn't find any. So after taking a few pictures, we went on our way to Lake Almanor. We arrived at Lake Almanor at 4:30. The campgrounds were very dusty, but we were too tired to go any further this day. The water and restrooms were quite far away from camp. There it is. There is that restroom content that we're here for. Thank you. The mosquitoes just loved us. I got lost looking for the restrooms, and so I had to go back to camp and start all over. September 9th, 1948. Got kicked out of the bed at first as usual. He had the fires roaring in both the stoves before I left my cozy bed. Brr, brr. I could hardly enjoy my breakfast because it was freezing. We all stood around the stove and thawed out enough to pack up camp and move on. We survived all the hardships of this camp. We shook the dust off of our sleeves and left camp around 9:45 a.m. Again, we didn't know which route we should take home, Feather River or Lake Tahoe. We just drove until we came to a sign which said road under construction, may have to wait for hours. That was the Feather River. Wow, that's really hard to say.
That was the Feather River Road.
So naturally, we took the other highway. We arrived in Truckee at 1:30 p.m. We had some ice cream to simmer down a bit as it was quite warm. So we meandered down to Lake Tahoe at around 2. We drove around the lake. We stopped here and there to take pictures. We were here 18 years ago and it was quite wild in some places then. Now, 18 years later, they have beautiful highways all around the lake and camps and cabins and little shopping centers. I really want to go to Lake Tahoe. It looks pretty. From here, we drove on to Bridgeport where we had dinner. We had some tough steaks for a high price. Sounds lovely. The highway from here was wide and smooth. No traffic. Why did I think that said traffic? As there was an oil strike going on. Oh, interesting. We finally ran into some bad roads. We passed through, yeah, I think that's Morrow Lake, and the last through Bishop. From there, we were ready to stop at any kind of cabin. We finally found one at Aberdeen. What a cabin. No bathroom, showers, restrooms way in the back of the cabin. Anyways, we slept good. There we go. More of that bathroom content. September 10th, 1948. Up and at it early, got started at 8 a.m. Down to Independence before we had breakfast. I'm gonna guess that's what that says. I really don't know. They got quite a surprise when they ordered hotcakes and a side of ham. The ham must have been all of one good bite. Maybe a little less. We took some pictures of Mount Whitney from here. After leaving here, it started to get hot the further we went, the hotter it got. Stopped at Red Rock Canyon and took some pictures. We arrived in Mojave at 11:30, still hotter. Woo! We had lunch here. I wasn't very hungry, but they ate just as if it was nice and cool. We had our car parked in the sun, and when we came back from lunch, we opened the door and a blast of heat hit us in the face. No looking. I was uncomfortable and fussed the entire way. They took it without a whimper. We stopped at Ralph's in Burbank and bought our groceries for the week. The perfect place to end any road trip. The Ralph's in Burbank, as we didn't feel like we wanted to leave the house once we got back. At least not that day. We arrived home at 4:30 p.m. I've enjoyed our trip very much. Ready to go again. And there we go, folks. For anybody who's still watching after that long video, that's the road trip. They kind of just tripped around California. I don't know. I thought it was chill. I hope you thought this was like interesting, kind of, maybe a little bit of escapism as we're all confined to the corners of our own homes. Hopefully things will get back to normal and we could all travel, but for now, I guess this will just have to suffice for me. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you aren't yet, make sure to subscribe, and if you are subscribed, make sure that you have the notification bell ring. I post, or try to post, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. PST, but also sometimes I'll put videos up here and there, like I did on Monday, which if you missed that one, you can check it out right here. Other than that, thank you so much for watching again. I hope to see you in the next video. All right, bye!